Hi everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to share with you some XR news. The first one is on abc.net.au. The title is called Music and Live Gigs Are Coming to the Metaverse, but probably not in the way you expect. And this article was written by Paul Donoughue. Yeah, so pretty much if you can see my screen, you can see um, a code play and a BTS hologram performance. The Voice in December showed. Yeah, so you can see like there's a real singer and there are two holographic or volumetric live streaming, kind of performance, hologram performance, just, at the same time, live on the stage. So it's very interesting to see that right now, a lot of music live show, they start integrating a lot of interesting live performance. So for example, even though the singers or artists, they couldn't be in the, or musician, they couldn't be in the same physical space, but pretty much you can teleport them or, using hologram or volumetric live capture, those types of technology to show at the same time those people are performing at the same time. So yeah, you are trying to understand what's the new media is, and it's like a traditional music video. Not really, but it will be more like a live show. So yeah, so Justin Bieber's avatar performing on the Wave platform back in November 2021. So you can see that Justin Bieber is pretty much super huge, right? And because right now the technology is good enough to track your lips, track your hand, right? Track your eyes, track your movement. So if the musician or the singer, they want to host a live music event, they can totally do so. And, you can pretty much do a lot of stage effect. For example, Justin Bieber can be super huge while the majority of the audience are super tiny. So yeah, so he can pretty much stand on the car without being caught by police, because in this virtual world, pretty much you can run your imagination wild, right? So I would say that right now, because all the hardware, software is kind of coming along together, and people start thinking about how can we, elaborate the music festival, right? So when music and the metaverse meet, then what will it happen? Pretty much it will be a live music show with a lot of, I would say, different effects, right? So for example, you can see the singer, right? The singer you can really get closer to the singer compared with the traditional physical performance, because the singer will limited on the stage. And if you didn't purchase the front end seat, right, the front seat, which costs a lot of money. If you buy the cheap seat, and you only can see the tiny singers singing, performing on the far stage, right? But if you are in this metaverse concert, pretty much you can simulate, anywhere you want, and the singer can enlarge themselves, or multiple rooms and like God mode, right? This person can be represented in different rooms, and just because for the service capacity, right? So for example, each different rooms has the maximum capacity is 100 people, then maybe they can open like 10 rooms, and Justin Bieber is singing on the center, in the center of the stage. So this will open a lot of possibilities for the fans to get much closer to their singer. And the singer can also come up with a lot of super cool ideas to integrate with their music, right? Not limited to the stage. And usually the stage is much more expensive, right? And as for virtual one, you can pretty much use, effects to achieve the dramatic live events, right? And there's a performance app called uh, Encore, and that company pretty much allows the artist to make their events or videos. Usually they can get 10 cents per clips, right? 10 cents for clips. And if you kind of, if you are famous and you use that app to create a bunch of like metaverse show, right? And you can get 10 cents per clips, and at least you can earn like 20,000 per show. Wow, which is actually pretty good. And during pandemic, this those types of events couldn't really host normally. So I would say this types of software or metaverse show live events, music events pretty much can help the artists to earn money and also keep everyone safe, right? And also add a lot of creativities on the stage or on the effects, and add a lot of arts inside, right? So the interesting thing is that right now is gamifying music making. So you can see a lot of companies like Epic Games, and the maker, it's the maker of blockbuster video games like Fortnite, right? So as for Fortnite, you can see like there are a lot of really cool concert. For example, like Travis Scott virtual concert in Fortnite. You can see like the artists can be so cool, so artsy in the sci-fi, place, right? And they can be super large, and the entire scene can be theirs, right? So I would say this will be a very interesting way of hosting live events. It has created a game. It's called Roblox. Okay, so Roblox, it has a lot of interesting things. The players can access to a suite of loops, for example, guitar, vocals. They can also write music, and they can perform the avatar, right? So, for example, a DJ, they can use like a game called Slash environment on Roblox, and they can create their song and start performing, which is very interesting, right? So fans can rate their performance, which affects their level of fan within the game. And it's also a currency within Splash that players can earn and use to purchase things like clothing for their avatars. So yeah, so I think this business model is very interesting. So pretty much they create a platform, and the singer can can sing, and the fans can donate or reward the singers. So the singers at the end can earn money and buy super fancy clothes, right? In the 3D space, and aiding up the fans or creating, or yeah. So I would say this is a very interesting way of making music, right? Yeah. At the end of this article, it talks about what's holding us back. So I would say yeah, because right now, even though it's really immersive, right? But still, we still need a better headset, better hardware, and better software, and better infrastructure for everyone to jump in to the concert. But I am happy to see like a Splash and Fortnite, and there's a company called Encore, and you see like all those live events. They integrate with a lot of special effects and make the entire metaverse music a festival, right? So it's very interesting. Okay, so let's move on to the next news. The next news is on Pew Research Center. Yeah, okay. So the title is called The Metaverse in 2040. And it was written by JANNA Anderson and RAINIE. Okay, so everyone is talking about Metaverse, and the interesting thing about it is that people said that Metaverse, because a lot of people trying to define it, but some people said that Metaverse is the next generation of internet, right? And we know that as for internet, internet will always grow better and faster, right? Like 5G, right? 5G will definitely accelerate the way that we communicate or the speed of internet. There are some debates between, the health issues and 5G. I would say, yeah, I mean, it's hard because if 5G will influence or harm our body, then do we really need it? But it seems like people are trying to tone down the effects, because I heard some people said that pretty much if you use 5G, it's like you are microwaving yourself. You are exposed to microwave because the ray is very similar to microwave. So think about right now. Yeah, right now I use 4G, but if we use 5G, then it's it's kind of dangerous. But anyway, so yeah, so people might think, what's Metaverse, right? And they expect that augmented and mixed reality enhancement will become the useful in people's daily life. Many worries current online problems will magnify if Web3 development is led by those who build today's dominant web platforms. Okay, so this is always concerning, right? Because if we couldn't solve the problems today and we invent a new thing, and we will bring today's problem to tomorrow, right? So yeah, so it's always like the problem. And human is not perfect, right? And when you are monopoly, and it's very likely you are trying to use your power to, kind of trying to conquer the next generation of website, right? So yeah, so it's kind of inevitable to kind of have those concerns. But I think it's very interesting to see like the future of internet. People associate with Metaverse with internet. Yeah, I would say that people, I mean, since everyone is on the internet, if we can turn the infrastructure for the website into more, I would say, add more another dimension, then it will definitely help people to learn more, to perceive more, right? Think about, I usually use this as an example. Think about you are buying a shoe, like shoes on Amazon, right? When you have to type shoe, right? And then you hit the button, right? And all the stuff will shows up, right? And you have to select and click it, one button, and you can see the product detail page. And then there might be some thumbnails for different angles of the shoes, right? Descriptions and reviews, right? Colors, right? And then how many stock, right? All those details. Yeah, think about if this is in Web3, right? Or this is in 3D space. You probably don't need to have all the information displayed in front of your eyes immediately, right? Like Amazon did. For example, you go to the store and you can just say, oh, I want to find shoes. And maybe there's a person or, personal guard, I don't know, whatever. And you can just talk to that person, just similar to real world. If we go to the mall, right, we don't have to, you know, see all the information. We can just ask that person, right? Maybe there are a lot of robot or AI robot. You can just ask questions and they will bring you the thing. Just feel like you are actual shopping, right? And once you know, you kind of get you know, whatever you want, and then you know, you can always, you know, buy it with, for example, you can buy digital version and physical version. The physical version can always send to your home, right? So this is kind of something that a lot of people start figuring out, like how to monetize or how to do the metaverse commerce, right? So it's very interesting to see like people think that a lot of the majority, I would say for 54, 46, it's very similar. So half and half. Half of people think, you know, we will jump into metaverse or it will be fully immersive. And another 50% won't think, don't think that by 2040 that the entire world is immersive, right? So for me, I feel excited because this is the first wave in my life that I can participate and be an early adopter. Because when I was when .com age, right, bubble, right, I was in high school. So pretty much I didn't really join or see the entire thing. I was in school, right? But this time I am pretty mature right now with skills, and metaverse, right, is kind of within my real wheel. So it's, for me, it's very excited to see all this. And by 2040, wow, 2040, look at this time, right? We are 2022, right? So 18, yeah, 18 years later, around 20 years later, right? So 20 years, wow. So I am like in the late, yeah, pretty old by then. But you see, like people start predicting that what will it be in 2040, right? So some people predict that mixed reality will be the main device. Why? I would say that AR MR will be more like the main training device compared with AI system. Why? Because I think it's possible. All the device will be much more powerful than before, and all the object, people will put AI on top of it and make it smart, like a cup, right? You put an AI on it, it will tell you when to drink water, right? Something like that, because people might forget, right? And you put an AI on the microphone, right? Or AI on the camera. It can zoom in, zoom out, right? Without you adjust, right? So I would say that it's very interesting to see like the world is start changing, and I believe that AR and MR will pretty much yeah, kind of be the main dominant for the entire industry. Why? VR is closed, right? VR is closed. MR is mixed, right? Yeah, so think about MR. MR is that you can do AR and VR, right? So it reminds me of all the powerful device we have right now. It's actually the combination of 2 or 3 devices in the past. For example, our smartphone, right? It pretty much is the computer plus phone, right? So before, if we want to check stuff, we need to go to computer, right? Laptop or a desktop computer, and we go to different browser and apps, and we can do functional stuff, right? Do all the tasks. And if we want to call somebody, we use the core phone, right? The traditional phone, right? and phone only for phone, right? Computer only for task. But you see the smartphone, right? Now, I would say, what do we use our smartphone only mainly for calling? No, we use it to check all the social medias, check our schedule, doing a lot of planning, right? And look at the news, right? So phone becomes a really essential part of our life. Almost, I wouldn't say replace, because we still, some tasks still requires a lot of big screens, right? But phone do take away a lot of attentions for us to look at the laptop. If we, even when we watch movies on the airplane, right, on the flight, right, we use phone, right? So yeah, so you see, like MR. Before, if you want to do AR, you need to buy an AR glass. You want to play VR game, you buy VR headset. But AMR is kind of like you can do both in that one headset, right? Even though right now there are still a lot of development, but this is the goal. So imagine you just have to buy that one device and you can do both, right? So I would say the single function of AR or single function of VR will kind of slowly, unless you have a specific task that you have to do in VR, like 80% of your time has to do, inside VR and create something or join a immersive meeting or something, right? Otherwise, or you have some games you have to play or something. But I would say AMR is kind of a median ground that happy meets of both needs, right? So MR will kind of, yeah, because you can have just one device and you can do both. So I would say MR will be more kind of, people will like that more. And the next point is that the next generation networked knowledge ecosystem can be built in ways that better serve people than current web does. Yeah, we all know that internet is keep evolving, right? So it will definitely go beyond and become better and better. So right now we are doing 2.0, so it's more e-commerce, right? All the website, menu system, pointed button system, menu system, tab system, right? Window system, right? And the cursor system, right? Mouse system. So all those systems are the base of Web 2.0. But in the future, it will be more like, voice command. Voice command will kind of be the essential for the interface. It's called VUI, right? And the typing, I mean, in the real world, well, if there's a person or a store in front of you, well, you just ask, or you have to have a virtual keyboard in front of you, need to type. You just ask, right? Well, you go to somewhere and you are trying to bring laptop and type to show them, no, right? We don't type in real world, right? We talk, right? So VUI, I would say, is probably the very important elements inside MR, right? So yeah, I mean, all those dots or UI will still there, but you can reduce tons of information. You don't really need a panel of words display, right? So yeah, so just 3D object, one 3D object can save thousands of words, right? So yeah, so people kind of start talking about how can they profit, right? And yeah, so yeah, so for example, like right now, people are not like compare with today, far more people will find the metaverse useful enough to access to daily. Now, I would say the infrastructure is not ready yet, right? And then the technology to create an immersive universe is possible by 2040. By 2040, I think so. Yeah, I mean, now the website is kind of a small universe, even though, and everyone can kind of connect with each other as long as they have the device and Wi-Fi, right? So yeah, I mean, it's possible, right? And the technology to create an immersive universe, and 3D, I think by the time we might be able to solve the problem. And the pandemic really gave XR development a big boost, right? And there are many number of potential positive and delightful uses of XR. For example, in this article, it talks about Metaverse or the you know the XR really help us to cope with the fears, right, and the phobias, right, and also help us to learn better, right, offer more spaces, remote collaboration, and help us to to be more creative and with a lot of cool fashion, right? So those are kind of the positive side, right? So so all the stuff are pretty much implemented and will be better, right? But as for Metaverse, if it won't go badly, like what will it happen? For example, people don't need it in daily life, for example. Yeah, another part of more like passive experts, they think that, oh, probably we don't even need to use all those, right? We can live in the real world, right? And the technology need to reach a lot more people and will not be ready in 2040. For me, I look at all the passive one, right? I think it's interesting. It's more like one coin has two sides, right? So the most important thing is hardware. If hardware is good, software is good, people will love to jump in. If XR can solve the real problem that user, all the users in real world, I think I think XR will bloom, right? But if XR cannot solve any problems and it's just a toy, an unnecessary toy, right? Couldn't provide any value, then I would say people will ditch it. So I personally think education is so important because if everybody can create something in XR, if everybody is equipment, all the knowledge and all the skills, and more people jump in and create hardware, I believe by 2040 something will happen. But if we just treat it as not seriously, because right now pretty much we are creating the future, right? Either you think it's good, or either you can achieve it, or either you think you cannot achieve it. It's all right, right? It's all right thoughts. There's no wrong thoughts of it. But it depends on how much effort you want to put. If you put all your heart in, then it might happen, right? Even if you put your all heart in, if it is not working, then it just need more years. It will happen, right? So so I think it's very interesting to see all the experts, their summaries, whether they believe Metaverse will happen by 2040 or not really happen, but the majority of people will jump in and live there, right? So it's very interesting debate. Maybe in 2040, when I'm pretty old, when I look at this article, I will feel, I will pretty much know what's going on during that time. And when I see the old article talking about the future, it's interesting. So we will see, and hopefully, 2040, the life will be better, right? Everything will be better, hopefully. Cool. And thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.